Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're delving into a topic that has sparked countless debates among Potterheads for decades. It's a question of power, of legacy, and of magical prowess that defines the very fabric of the wizarding world. Today we're counting down the 10 most powerful wizards in Harry Potter history. This isn't just about who could win in a duel, but about influence, innovation, and the sheer force of magical will that left an indelible mark on their era and all those that followed. It's a monumental task, ranking these titans of magic, but one that I am incredibly excited to explore with all of you. From legendary founders who laid the very stones of Hogwarts to dark lords who cast long, terrifying shadows over entire generations, these magical icons have shaped the wizarding world in ways we are still trying to fully comprehend. Their stories are woven into the tapestry of magic itself, their names whispered with reverence, fear, or awe. We'll be examining their greatest feats, their most profound creations, and the philosophies that drove them. This list will take us from the mythical age of Camelot to the climactic final moments of the Second Wizarding War, celebrating the witches and wizards who pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. Before we begin this magical journey, I want to hear from you. Power is subjective, and what one person values in a wizard, another might overlook. So, as we go through this list, I want you to be thinking about your own rankings. Let us know in the comments who you think is the most powerful wizard of all time, and why. Did we get it right? Did we miss someone crucial? Let's get the discussion started. Now, without further ado, let's ignite our wands and begin our countdown. Kicking off our list at number 10 is a witch whose name is synonymous with brilliance, bravery, and unwavering loyalty. Hermione Jean Granger. Now, some might argue that placing her on a list with ancient founders and dark lords is a bold move, but I firmly believe her power is undeniable, albeit of a different kind. Her magical aptitude was apparent from the moment she stepped onto the Hogwarts Express, effortlessly fixing Harry's glasses with a simple oculus reparo, but her power extends far beyond textbook spellwork. It lies in her intellect, her resourcefulness, and her ability to apply vast theoretical knowledge under the most extreme pressure imaginable. She was, without question, the brains of the Golden Trio. Think about the sheer breadth of her magical knowledge. By her second year, she was brewing Polyjuice Potion, a Newt-level concoction that would stump most adult wizards. Her undetectable extension charm on her small beaded bag was a masterpiece of practical magic, allowing the trio to carry everything they needed to survive while on the run. This wasn't just a simple charm, it was a complex piece of magic that demonstrated a level of skill far beyond her years. It was Hermione who unraveled the mystery of the Chamber of Secrets, identified Rita Skeeter as an illegal animagus, and mastered complex protective enchantments to keep the trio safe during their hunt for the Horcruxes. Her power wasn't just academic, it was proven time and time again in the heat of battle. During the skirmish in the Department of Mysteries, she held her own against seasoned Death Eaters. In the Battle of Hogwarts, she fought with a ferocity and skill that matched wizards twice her age. But perhaps her greatest strength was her logical mind, a quality that often grounded Harry and Ron when they were driven by emotion. She was the one who saw the patterns, connected the dots, and formulated the plans that so often led to their success. She didn't just know spells, she understood magic on a fundamental, almost instinctual level. It's this unique combination of encyclopedic knowledge, practical application, and fierce courage that earns her a spot on this list. While she may not have possessed the raw, overwhelming power of a Dumbledore or a Voldemort, her magical talent was refined, precise, and incredibly effective. She consistently performed magic far above her age level, demonstrating a mastery that few could ever hope to achieve. Without Hermione, it's not an exaggeration to say that Harry's quest would have failed at multiple points. The wizarding world owes her an immeasurable debt. Her post-Hogwarts career only further solidifies her place here. Rising through the ranks of the Ministry of Magic to eventually become the Minister for Magic herself, she used her intelligence and passion to enact real, lasting change, fighting for the rights of magical creatures and dismantling the pure blood-centric laws that had plagued their society for centuries. Hermione Granger's power wasn't just in her wand, it was in her mind and her heart. making her not only one of the most powerful but also one of the greatest witches of all time. At number 9, we have a wizard whose name echoed through the halls of history long before Harry Potter ever heard it, Nicholas Flamel. His power wasn't necessarily in dueling or casting flashy spells, but in a far more ancient and mysterious branch of magic alchemy. Flamel is of course most famous for being the sole known creator of the Philosopher's Stone, a legendary substance with two astonishing properties. It could transform any base metal into pure gold, and it produced the elixir of life, which grants immortality to the drinker. This single achievement places him in a league of his own. To truly appreciate the magnitude of this feat, we must understand that creating the Philosopher's Stone was the magnum opus, the ultimate goal for alchemists throughout history. Countless witches and wizards dedicated their entire lives to this pursuit and failed. Yet Flamel succeeded. This implies a level of magical understanding, patience, and intellect that is almost beyond our comprehension. Alchemy is described as a complex and esoteric art, blending potions, charms, and transfiguration in ways that most wizards could never master. Flamel wasn't just a practitioner, he was the undisputed master. His longevity itself is a testament to his power. Alongside his wife Perenelle, Flamel lived for over 600 years. Imagine the knowledge, the experience, and the magical secrets one could accumulate in such a vast span of time. He lived through centuries of wizarding history, witnessing the rise and fall of countless dark wizards and political regimes. This long life wasn't just a passive existence. He was an active and respected member of the magical community, a close friend and confidant to none other than Albus Dumbledore, who himself was considered the greatest wizard of his own long lifetime. Dumbledore's respect for Flamel speaks volumes. He trusted Flamel with the secret of the stone's location and worked with him to protect it from Lord Voldemort. This partnership between two of the most brilliant minds in wizarding history highlights the immense esteem in which Flamel was held. While we don't have detailed accounts of his dueling prowess, his ability to create and sustain an object of such immense power, an object that could grant eternal life and foil even the most powerful Dark Lord, is a form of power that is perhaps more profound than any curse or charm. Ultimately, Flamel and his wife chose to destroy the stone, accepting mortality. This final act demonstrates a wisdom and strength of character that is just as important as magical ability. It shows a deep understanding of the natural order and a rejection of the fear of death that so consumed wizards like Voldemort. Nicholas Flamel's power was quiet, intellectual, and profound. He mastered the very building blocks of life and matter, earning him a legendary status and a well-deserved place on our list of the most powerful wizards in history. Coming in at number 8 is a witch of incredible fortitude, talent, and unwavering moral conviction, the formidable head of Gryffindor, Manurva McGonagal. Her power is multifaceted, combining exceptional magical skill with fierce leadership and uncompromising bravery. McGonagal is, first and foremost, a master of one of the most difficult and complex branches of magic transfiguration. It is a discipline that requires immense concentration and precise wand work. And McGonagal wasn't just proficient, she was arguably one of its greatest practitioners of the modern era. Her ability to transfigure objects and even herself is legendary. As a registered animagus, she could transform at will into a tabby cat, a feat of magic so demanding that fewer than 1 in 1,000 wizards ever achieve it. We saw her prowess throughout the series, from transfiguring a desk into a pig to, most impressively, animating the very statues and suits of armor of Hogwarts to defend the school during its final battle. That spell, Pietotum Locomotor, was a display of immense power, bringing an entire army of stone soldiers to life. It was a moment that sent chills down our spines and showed the true depth of her capabilities. Beyond her technical skill, McGonagall possessed a duelist's prowess that should not be underestimated. During the Battle of Hogwarts, she didn't hesitate to stand against the most powerful dark wizards. She dueled Severus Snape to a standstill, forcing him to flee the castle. And in the final confrontation, she was one of the 3 who bravely took on Lord Voldemort himself, alongside Kingsley Shacklebolt and Horace Slughorn. To face the Dark Lord, knowing the fate of everyone you hold dear is at stake, and to hold your ground, requires a level of power and courage that few possess. Her leadership was another of her greatest strengths. After Dumbledore's death and during the school's occupation by the Carrows, she remained a pillar of strength and resistance for the students, subtly undermining the new regime wherever she could. When the time came, it was she who took command, organizing the defense of Hogwarts with tactical brilliance and inspiring students and teachers alike to fight. Her cry of "Hogwarts is threatened, man the boundaries, protect us, do your duty to our school" still resonates as a powerful call to arms, a testament to her devotion and authority. Manurva McGonagal embodies the very best of Gryffindor house courage, nerve and determination. She was a brilliant witch, a gifted teacher, a formidable duelist, and an inspirational leader. Her power wasn't just in the spells she cast, but in the strength of her character and her unyielding resolve to protect her students and her home. She was the rock of Hogwarts in its darkest hour, a true lioness who fought with the heart and power of a champion, earning her a firm place among the wizarding world's elite. At number 7, we find one of the most complex, controversial, and undeniably powerful wizards in the entire saga, Severus Snape. His power was subtle, insidious and multifaceted, stemming from a brilliant mind that, really excelled in some of the most difficult and darkest corners of magic. Snape was, without a doubt, a potions master of unparalleled genius. His own annotated copy of advanced potion making was so advanced that it allowed a mediocre student like Harry to excel, filled with shortcuts and improvements that, honestly, surpassed the original author's work. He didn't just follow recipes. He innovated and created. His creative genius wasn't limited to potions. As the Half-Blood Prince, he invented his own spells during his time as a student at Hogwarts. These weren't simple jinxes. They were potent and dangerous pieces of magic. The most infamous, of course, is Sectum Sempra, a dark curse that inflicts deep bleeding gashes as if the victim has been slashed by an invisible sword. The creation of such a spell requires a profound understanding of dark magic and a level of magical ingenuity that is exceptionally rare, marking him as a prodigious talent from a young age. Snape's greatest power, however, lay in his mastery of occlumency and legilimency, the arts of defending and penetrating the mind. For years, he successfully played the role of a loyal Death Eater, serving as a double agent right under the nose of Lord Voldemort. Voldemort was the most accomplished legilimens of his time, able to tear through the minds of his followers with ease. Yet he never once suspected Snape's true allegiance. To maintain such a perfect mental shield against a wizard of Voldemort's caliber for so long is a feat of mental fortitude and magical skill that is almost incomprehensible. It required constant vigilance and an iron will. This mental discipline allowed him to play the most dangerous game in the wizarding world. He fed crucial information to the Order of the Phoenix while maintaining Voldemort's complete trust, a balancing act that directly led to the Dark Lord's ultimate downfall. His role was pivotal. He gave Voldemort the partial prophecy that set events in motion. He killed Dumbledore on Dumbledore's own orders to solidify his position, and he ensured the Sword of Gryffindor fell into Harry's hands. Every action was a calculated risk, a piece in a puzzle only he and Dumbledore fully understood. While his personality was often cruel and his methods questionable, his magical power and his crucial role in the Second Wizarding War are irrefutable. He was a master of potions, an inventor of dark curses and unparalleled occlumens, and a duelist skilled enough to hold his own against other powerful wizards like McGonagall. His power was born from a dark and painful past, honed by obsession and intelligence, and ultimately used in his own twisted way for the greater good. For his sheer skill and the critical, impossibly dangerous role he played, Severus Snape is undoubtedly one of history's most powerful wizards. We now move into the realm of legends, to the very founders of Hogwarts itself. At number 6, we honor the wizard whose name is synonymous with courage and chivalry, Godric Gryffindor. As one of the 4 founders of Hogwarts' School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, his influence on the wizarding world is honestly just immeasurable. He lived over 1,000 years ago in an age where magic was raw and wizards faced persecution from muggles. It was his vision, alongside the other founders, to create a safe haven where young witches and wizards could learn and flourish. This act of creation alone is a testament to his power and influence. Gryffindor was known to be the most accomplished duelist of his time. In an era without a structured Ministry of Magic, disputes were often settled at the end of a wand, and Gryffindor's skill was said to be unmatched. His legendary status as a fighter is immortalized in the magical artifacts he left behind. The most famous of these is the Sword of Gryffindor, a magnificent goblin-made blade. This was no ordinary sword, it was imbued with powerful magic. It has the unique ability to imbibe any substance that will strengthen it, which is how it became infused with basilisk venom after Harry used it to slay Slytherin's monster. The creation or commissioning of such a powerful artifact speaks to Gryffindor's deep understanding of magical properties and enchantment. But the sword's true power lies in its connection to his character. It presents itself only to a true Gryffindor, one who displays courage and valor in a moment of need. This is a profound piece of magic linking an inanimate object to abstract human virtues. It suggests Gryffindor's magic was tied to his very ideals, a power that transcends simple spellcasting and touches upon the fundamental nature of bravery itself. Another of his creations, the Sorting Hat, further showcases his magical genius. The hat was originally Gryffindor's own and was enchanted by all four founders to sort students into their respective houses long after they were gone. The hat is a sentient magical object, capable of legilimency, conversation, and complex judgment. To co-create an artifact with such enduring consciousness and purpose is a display of magical prowess that is simply on another level compared to most modern wizards. It has worked flawlessly for a millennium, a lasting legacy of his incredible power. Godric Gryffindor's power, therefore, was a blend of martial skill, profound magical craftsmanship, and visionary leadership. He was a champion of the oppressed, a believer in courage and determination, and a wizard whose foresight helped shape magical education for 1,000 years. While the specifics of his spells are lost to time, his legacy, embodied in his house, his sword, and the Sorting Hat, proves that he was a wizard of immense power and historical importance, a true titan of the ancient magical world. Cracking our top 5 is the most controversial and perhaps the most infamous of the four founders, Salazar Slytherin. If Gryffindor represented the light, Slytherin embodied the shadows, a wizard of immense power, cunning, and a dangerous, exclusionary ideology. Like the other founders, his magical skill was considered to be among the greatest of his age. He was a master of the dark arts, a powerful legilimens, and possessed a rare and feared ability that set him apart from almost all other wizards. He was a Parselmouth. His ability to speak to serpents' parcel tongue was a gift that many associated with dark magic, and it allowed him to command snakes and other serpentine creatures. This skill was central to his most terrifying creation. When his desire to admit only pure-blood students to Hogwarts was rejected by the other founders, he left the school. But before he did, he built a secret lair deep within the castle, a place known only to his heirs, the Chamber of Secrets. This act of architectural magic, creating a vast hidden complex unknown to the other three powerful founders, is a staggering display of his power and cunning. Within the chamber, he left a monster, a creature so deadly that it could kill with a single gaze, a basilisk. He intended for this king of serpents to be used by his heir to purge the school of those he deemed unworthy, the Muggleborns. To breed, raise, and control a creature of such immense dark power, and to place it in a state of suspended animation for a millennium, waiting for the call of his descendant, is a feat of dark magic that is truly chilling. It's a legacy of hatred, but an undeniably powerful one. Slytherin was also a master legilimens, like his fellow founder Godric Gryffindor. The Sorting Hat mentions their friendship and how they used their abilities, likely to assess the minds and characters of their first students. This mastery of the mind, combined with his skill in the dark arts and parcel tongue, made him an incredibly intimidating and formidable wizard. His beliefs may have been abhorrent, but his magical abilities were beyond question. He was an innovator, albeit in the darkest sense, pushing the boundaries of what magic could do. His legacy is a dark stain on the history of Hogwarts, yet his power is undeniable. He created the Chamber of Secrets, controlled a basilisk, and left behind an artifact of his own dark power, the locket which he would later turn into one of his Horcruxes. His influence persisted for 1,000 years, culminating in the rise of his most famous descendant, Lord Voldemort, who sought to complete Slytherin's noble work, For his mastery of dark and rare magics and the terrifying, enduring legacy he created, Salazar Slytherin stands as one of the most powerful and dangerous wizards to have ever lived. At number 4, we have the wizard who cast a dark shadow over the world long before Voldemort was even a name to be feared, Gryndlewald. Before he became a Dark Lord, he was a brilliant, charismatic, and exceptionally talented student at Durmstrang, a school known for its tolerance of the dark arts. His magical prowess was evident from a young age, but so was his twisted ambition. He was expelled for twisted experiments and near-fatal attacks on fellow students, which is a pretty clear indication of his immense power and lack of moral restraint, even as a teenager. Grindelwald's power was not just in his spellcasting, which was extraordinary, but in his vision and his charisma. He was a revolutionary, a wizard who believed in a world order where wizards would rule over muggles for the greater good. This dangerous ideology, combined with his powerful oratory skills, allowed him to amass a huge following of acolytes across Europe. He was a master manipulator, able to sway crowds and bend even strong-willed wizards to his cause. This ability to inspire such fanatical devotion is a form of power that is perhaps even more dangerous than any curse. His magical abilities were on par with the very best. He was a master duelist, able to fight off dozens of trained auras single-handedly. He possessed the Elder Wand, the most powerful wand in existence, for decades, and was able to master it and wield its immense power effectively. His feats of magic were, honestly, both spectacular and terrifying. We saw him conjure a torrent of cursed fire, Protego Diabolica, that could incinerate his enemies while sparing his followers. He was a seer, able to glimpse fragments of the future, which gave him a significant strategic advantage. The scale of his threat was global. While Voldemort's terror was largely confined to Britain, Grindelwald's war engulfed the entire wizarding world, from Europe to America. He was a strategic genius, a political firebrand, and a magical powerhouse all rolled into one. For years he seemed unstoppable, his power growing with every victory. There was only one wizard in the world who was considered his equal, the one man who could possibly stand against him and the might of the Elder Wand. That man, of course, was Albus Dumbledore. The eventual confrontation between them in 1945 is described as the most legendary duel in all of wizarding history. For two wizards of such immense power to clash, the magical spectacle must have been beyond anything we can imagine. Although Dumbledore ultimately emerged victorious, the very fact that Grindelwald was considered his peer, and that their duel was the stuff of legend, cements his place as one of the most powerful wizards of all time. His ambition and magic reshaped the political landscape of the 20th century. Entering our top 3, we go back to the age of myth and legend, to a name that is, honestly, just synonymous with magic itself, Merlin. In the wizarding world, Merlin is not just a myth. He was a very real and arguably the most famous wizard in history. His influence is so profound that his name has become part of the magical lexicon. Witches and wizards frequently exclaim Merlin's beard, or Merlin's pants, as a common expression of surprise. The highest honor a wizard can receive is the Order of Merlin, an award he himself established. This cultural ubiquity, really speaks to a legacy of unparalleled greatness. Details about Merlin's life are shrouded in the mists of time, but what we do know paints a picture of a wizard with extraordinary power and a progressive vision far ahead of his time. He was a Slytherin, surprisingly enough, but he did not share the house's prejudice against muggles. In fact, Merlin was a great champion of muggles, believing that wizards and non-magical folk could and should coexist peacefully. He founded the Order of Merlin to promote muggle rights and created rules against using magic on them, a philosophy that was radical for his era. This demonstrates a power of influence and character that shaped wizarding society for the better. His magical prowess is honestly the stuff of legend. While specific spells are not detailed in the Harry Potter canon, he is universally acknowledged as the Prince of Enchanters and one of the most powerful wizards to have ever lived. The legends surrounding him in the Muggle world, of his command over nature, his shape-shifting abilities, and his powerful charms are likely rooted in his very real and very potent magical abilities. To have such a reputation that it endures for over a millennium suggests a level of power that dwarfs nearly all who came after him. Think of the context here. He lived in the early medieval period, a time of great strife and superstition. For a wizard to not only survive but thrive, becoming a trusted advisor to a Muggle king, King Arthur Pendragon, is a testament to his incredible skill, diplomacy and power. He navigated the treacherous political waters of a royal court, while presumably dealing with magical threats we can only imagine. His ability to bridge the gap between the magical and non-magical worlds in such a prominent way is a feat no other wizard has ever truly replicated on such a scale. Placing Merlin on this list is difficult because his power is more historical and legendary than explicitly detailed. However, his status as the archetypal wizard, the benchmark against which all others are measured, is undeniable. The fact that the most prestigious award in the wizarding world is named after him, and that his name is still on the lips of every witch and wizard centuries later, is proof of his immense and everlasting power. He is not just a wizard, he is the wizard, a foundational pillar of magical history. In the runner-up position we have the wizard who defined terror for a generation, a name so feared that people dared not speak it, Lord Voldemort. Born Tom Marvolo Riddle, he was a prodigy from the moment he arrived at Hogwarts. His magical talent was immense, and he was considered one of the most brilliant students to ever walk its halls. But his brilliance was corrupted by a deep-seated hatred, a lust for power, and an all-consuming fear of death. This obsession drove him to explore the darkest and most forbidden magic imaginable. Voldemort's power was built on a foundation of fear. He ruled his followers, the Death Eaters, not through loyalty, but through terror. He was a master of the unforgivable curses, particularly the killing curse, Avada Kedavra, which he used without hesitation or remorse. He was also an incredibly skilled duelist, able to take on multiple powerful opponents at once, as seen in the Battle of Hogwarts when he fought McGonagal, Slughorn and Shacklebolt simultaneously. His raw magical power was overwhelming, a raging torrent of dark energy that few could withstand. His most defining pursuit and the source of his most profound magic was his quest for immortality. Voldemort delved deeper into the dark arts than perhaps any wizard in history, and he succeeded where countless others had failed. He created multiple Horcruxes. By splitting his soul 7 times and encasing the fragments in objects, he anchored himself to the mortal plane, effectively conquering death. This is an act of such profound evil and magical complexity that it places him in a category all his own. It is a perversion of nature, a testament to his willingness to violate the deepest laws of magic for his own gain. Furthermore, Voldemort was, like his ancestor Salazar Slytherin, a parcel-mouth, giving him command over snakes and access to the Chamber of Secrets. He was also one of the most accomplished legilimens in history, able to invade minds and possess both people and animals. His magical knowledge was vast, and he was not afraid to innovate, as shown by his ability to achieve unsupported flight, a skill previously thought impossible. He pushed the boundaries of dark magic, creating a legacy of pain and suffering that scarred the wizarding world for decades. The only thing that kept Voldemort from the #1 spot was his single, fatal flaw, his inability to understand the power of love. This was his undoing. It was Lily Potter's love that protected Harry. It was Harry's capacity for love and sacrifice that ultimately defeated him. While his magical power was almost absolute, his emotional and philosophical understanding was cripplingly narrow. He was a titan of dark magic, a bogeyman made real, and without question the most dangerous dark wizard of the modern age, second only to one. And so we arrive at #1. Was there ever any doubt? Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore. His name alone commands respect and awe. From a young age, his magical genius was undeniable, described by the examiner for his new tease as having done things with a wand she had never seen before. His brilliance was matched only by his ambition, which, in his youth, led him down a dark path alongside his friend Gellert Grindlewald. This early brush with darkness, and the personal tragedy that resulted from it, shaped the rest of his long life, tempering his immense power with wisdom and humility. Dumbledore's list of accomplishments is, honestly, staggering. He was the discoverer of the 12 uses of dragon's blood. He was a master alchemist working alongside Nicholas Flamel. He was the chief warlock of the Wizengamot and the supreme mugwump of the International Confederation of Wizards, holding the highest political positions in the wizarding world. But his true power was most evident in his magical ability. He was the only wizard Lord Voldemort ever feared. Think about that. The Dark Lord who revelled in murder and power was afraid of one man. That alone speaks volumes. His duel with Grindlewald in 1945 is the most celebrated magical battle in history. Dumbledore faced a wizard who was his equal in skill and who wielded the unbeatable Elder Wand. And yet Dumbledore won. This victory not only ended a global wizarding war, but also made him the master of the most powerful wand in existence, a wand he possessed for the rest of his life. His duel with Voldemort in the Ministry of Magic Atrium was a breathtaking display of elemental magic, transfiguration, and raw power that showed the vast gulf in skill between Dumbledore and almost any other wizard. He fought with creativity, grace, and overwhelming force. Beyond his dueling prowess, Dumbledore's understanding of magic was deeper and more profound than anyone's. He understood the ancient primal magic of love and sacrifice, the very magic that Voldemort could not comprehend. It was this understanding that allowed him to orchestrate Voldemort's ultimate defeat, even from beyond the grave. His plans were intricate, spanning years, relying on the bravery of others, but guided by his unparalleled foresight and wisdom. He was a master strategist, always several steps ahead of his enemies. Albus Dumbledore was the complete package. He possessed unparalleled raw magical power, a brilliant and innovative mind, and a deep, hard-won wisdom. He could conjure a Patronus powerful enough to repel hundreds of Dementors. He could cast non-verbal spells with ease, and he could command the respect and loyalty of those around him. He was not perfect. His secrets and manipulations caused pain, but in the end his power was always used in the defense of others. For his legendary skill, his profound wisdom, and his role as the ultimate guardian against the dark, Albus Dumbledore is and remains the most powerful wizard in Harry Potter history. And there you have it, our countdown of the 10 most powerful witches and wizards in the history of the wizarding world. From the brilliance of Hermione Granger to the legendary might of Albus Dumbledore, these are the figures whose power shaped magic as we know it. It was an incredibly difficult list to compile, and arguments could be made for shifting the order or including other powerful figures like Bellatrix Lestrange or Phileas Flitwick. Each one of these individuals represents a different facet of power, whether it's intellectual, political, dark, or inspirational. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the magical hierarchy. Did your favorite wizard make the list? Do you agree with our number one pick? Or do you think the Dark Lord or perhaps even the legendary Merlin deserved the top spot? The beauty of the wizarding world is its depth, which allows for endless debate and discussion. We've presented our case, but the final verdict is always up for debate amongst the fans. And that's exactly what we love about this community. We want to hear all of your thoughts, so please let us know your picks in the comments below. Who would be in your top 10? Who did we criminally underrate? If you enjoyed this video and want to see more magical content, theory breakdowns, and lore explorations, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, stay magical.